Morning all. Just thought I'd do a video on the CB500X Honda 2022 bike. I've just had this on loan from Honda for a few weeks. I took a group round the Southwest 500 on it, so about 500 miles really, down to Land's End and around the coast. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a few thoughts on it in relation to the CB500X, which is this is a 2018 or early 2019 bike with a full rally raid kit, so the tubeless spoke wheels, level 2 suspension, sump guard, etc. Bar busters, folding mirrors. So yeah, it's nicely kitted out. It's actually Rally Raid's X demo bike that I've had for a year for people to ride down here. So I was intrigued by the new one for the simple reason that I've never been a huge fan of the 500X, I suppose. I've always admired it and I've always liked its potential. I've always thought it a decent bike. I can certainly see why people really like it and rave about it. I mean, great service intervals, 8,000 miles, really reliable. It's a perfect round-the-world bike. It's a perfect commuter bike. It's perfect for so many things. I just never really gelled with it. I just always felt it got some potential left in it. I mean, the Rally Raid kit goes a long way to improving that. The improved suspension helps, and I mean, this one with the spoke wheels looks really good. I think it really toughens up the image. It makes it look like a proper mini adventure bike, which is what Honda should have been building. But the standard model always left me just a little bit cold. I rode the first one 2012 when it first came out. I rode that up to sort of Cumbria and back. The 2014 update model, or 15, I can't remember which, I took on a trip round Scotland for a magazine feature, so I spent a bit of time on that one. And then 2018, I took a Rally Raid demo bike up around Scotland again. So I've done a fair few miles on the 500X. So I'm sort of speaking to somebody who's ridden one a fair bit. And I have to say, the 2022 bike, it really impressed me. It's the first time it feels like a complete motorcycle. It feels like, since 2012, what's that? In nearly 10 years, they've finally evolved it to the point where you think it is finished. They've done everything they needed to do to it. They've improved the brakes give better bite. The suspension now is far more plush and controllable than the standard suspension as I remember it. You get a sense that there's nothing you do to that suspension. It rides well, it corners well, it gives good sense of confidence on the road. It's just a nice suspension setup. So they switched to these upside down. They are non-adjustable Showa forks. And they're not adjustable, but they work really well. And it allowed me to carry more pace with confidence than I remember you were able to do on a standard bike. I remember certainly when they first came out, 2012, 2013, those bikes would, if you went into a corner that had got some chop in it, some undulations, the bike would want to just stand up on itself, go stand up and run wide. It was a difficult bike to sort of gel with on the bumpy back roads, certainly when you try to ride it at speed. But now, this model is absolutely flawless on the bumpy back roads. Really enjoyed the ride quality of it. It felt more like a premium bike than a budget bike. I know obviously the price has gone up to compensate, 6,599 I think it is now, but I think the improvement to the suspension warrants the extra they've had to charge. And when they came out, I think they were 5.1 or 5.2, so they've gone up £1,200 in 10 years, which in actual fact is pretty good. Probably inflation busting, but also the bike's a lot better now. I also thought that, and I didn't realise at the time, that the fuel injection had been changed, or the mapping. And I definitely thought this was squirtier and sharper and faster and revier than my 2019 bike. It certainly, this seemed to have some real zip to it, some real surge and energy in the engine, which I never really felt with these bikes, with the earlier bikes. So whatever they've done to it, and the engine's the same on the 2022, it's obviously just the injector or the mapping, it's the electronic tweaks, similar with the 310 GS, the Euro 5 update, it's the same engine, but for some reason it feels a lot peppier, and it's the same here. They've sort of done really good wonders with that. So for anybody on the fence about upgrading to a new one or buying a new one over, say, getting a last of the old ones, because I see some last of the old ones online for maybe £300 or £400 less than a new one, I'd say get a new one, because it feels like a finished quality machine. all the bike you'd ever want, actually. As I was going around Cornwall with my tent on the back, you do think, why would you need more than this? It's got enough squirt, handles well, feels good, comfortable, great economy. You know, it's like the perfect all-round motorcycle that just took 10 years to finally get there. And it's a shame it's taken Honda so long, and it's quite interesting, really. It's taken Honda to give it the brakes, the suspension that it's always deserved or needed. Yeah, and I guess people wonder why the Japanese are losing the way. Well, it takes 10 years to really finish a product. So glad they finished it. I am, because yeah, I really like that. Really like that. For 6,400, I don't know what you'd buy, actually. And as I was riding it, I thought, I do like that Motor Marini, but that rides better. It doesn't have the grunt of the Marini, the 650 twin, but it's got the agility, and it's a nice low seat height. It's really manageable. The weight's really manageable. So you can see why, for whether you're a novice rider, an older rider, an inexperienced rider, or even a well-travelled rider, that bike ticks so many boxes for so many people. It's a shame people are going to think, oh, it's only a 500. And I had some people on the trip saying, oh, you know, how you getting on with that? You know, just being a 500, has it got enough go? I mean, that chap on his, what was he on? He was on a Triumph 900 sort of street scrambler thing, and, you know, left him through corners and down straight. So a 500 is plenty quick enough for most people. I think it's only the ego of motorcyclists that keep us on the bigger bikes. But yeah, I was really impressed with that 500. So a long waffling discussion, but ultimately they finally built and perfected the 500X and turned it into the bike, or made it the bike it always should have been. So somewhat disappointed it's not more off-road capable. I agree, you know, it's not an off-road bike. I think it's fundamentally a street geometry bike that's been you know, turned into 3 different variants: a sport, a naked, and an adventure. Therefore, it's never going to be naturally suited to off-road work. You know, the Rally Raid, it has a good stab at it, but fundamentally, it was never designed to be an off-road bike. So you can only do so much to it. Does it matter that that's not more off-road focused? No, because it makes it so good on the road. So there we go, 2022 500X. Thanks, Honda, for loading it me. I think they're going to come and collect it next week or something. But yeah, enjoyed it. I'll try and get a ride out video up, and yeah, catch you later. Bye.